Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to another Benny on the Beat. It is, of course, Thanksgiving week, so happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Unless you live in a part of the world where you don't celebrate Thanksgiving, then happy week.
Smooth.
So everybody seemed to really dig the last video where we showed footage of the confrontational driver. We want to do some more of those. I told you guys we had some more videos. I looked through them and the quality is actually not good enough on some of them to use, but there is at least one more that I think I could probably, not guaranteed, probably make a video out of. So stay tuned for that. It's not today, but we should have that in the near future if I can pull it off. So getting back to a more traditional Benny on the Beat, let's get into it with an update on the police car. You guys always seem interested in that. So here's a picture of my car. It's doing okay. There's no problems with it. It's fantastic. We did get a little bit of snow. So since winter is here for a large part of the United States where I live, please remember, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, to be safe on the roadways and use caution and good judgment. We wouldn't want to run into light poles in parking lots or anything like that. All right, why don't we jump right into the calls this week? So I had an interesting day at work the other day. So all these calls are from the same shift. This isn't over multiple days. This is on the same shift. And we had some interesting things happen. Oh, and I guess I should say we had a lot of new followers after that last Benny on the Beat. So everybody welcome that's new to the channel. If I didn't officially welcome you yet, welcome to the channel. I'm vlogging here. I'm an American police officer in an urban environment. City is what I mean to say with that language, with those words. So the point of these videos is, of course, to give you guys a recap of some of the stuff that I do on the job, my calls for service, what the day-to-day life is like, to just try to give you an insight into what it's like in this day and age to be a police officer. All right, so I started out the day with a traffic accident almost right after I put in service on my computer that I was available for calls. I got dispatched on a traffic accident. This was a minor one. It was in a parking lot. In fact, they'd already exchanged information and left. So in our city, just so you guys kind of have an idea how it works for us, we're a big enough agency that we have too many traffic accidents to go to in person, right? There's just fender benders all the time, hit and run accidents, minor accidents. We can't go to all of them. We just don't have the manpower. So our city has an online reporting system set up where people can go online and actually make an accident report on that computer system. They put in the information it needs and it prints out a police report right there. It gives them a case number, gives them everything they need so they can make a claim with their insurance. So our dispatchers will try to get people to use that program instead of dispatching us on appropriate accident. Obviously, if people are injured or the damage is extensive or anything like that, we have to come out, but minor ones, they try to get them to do that. So this was one of those, but she refused to do the online program. Either that or the dispatcher didn't explain clearly enough what it was and how to do it. Either way, she wanted an officer to come out. So I got there, it was no big deal. Like I said, the other car had already left, so I explained to her how to do the online program. That's all it took, was an explanation from somebody in person, I guess, and she said, oh, no problem, I can go do that. So didn't have to do a report, got her on her way. Telling you guys it's not always fun and excitement. It's boring stuff sometimes, like that call. Then I got sent to another police department with an adjoining agency. So there was a guy that walked into their lobby that wanted to turn himself in from a hit and run accident the night before. Apparently that happened in our jurisdiction. So he hit a car, panicked, fled the scene on foot. His car was disabled, so he left his car there, fled the scene, and went to this police department, probably closer to where he lives, and turned himself in. So they figured out where it happened, and that's the best thing in the world, by the way. When somebody comes in to make a report, you start talking to them and realize, that's not my jurisdiction. I get to refer you to this police department. So in this case, that officer was able to do that, and it was my jurisdiction, so I had to come down and take the report. Yay. Luckily, and kudos to the dispatchers in this case, they were able to find the case from the night before. It was actually early in the morning, like 2 a.m. or something that morning. They were able to find the case that got reported as a hit and run, and thankfully, they had already done an accident report. So the officers on graveyards that came out and took that had already done the report on it, filled in all the information. All they were missing was the driver information because they had the car there. They were able to get in the glove box and get the insurance information, everything. It was beautiful. They're just missing the driver information. So I chatted with this guy and he said that he just had a change of heart. He felt so bad. He knew the only thing he could do was come in and make it right. He left his car there, right? And it was his roommate's car. Actually, to be specific, it was his roommate's parents' car. They were there going to college, so they lived out of state in California. So the parents' insurance company already received an alert because of the exchange form information that was given to the victim the night before. He already called his insurance to make a claim. So he gets an email from his insurance company saying you were involved in an accident, blah, blah, blah. He's like, what? So you can probably start to get the picture here. He wasn't, in my opinion, a repentant sinner coming in trying to make amends and make things right. He didn't have a choice. He was backed into a corner. There's nothing else he could do. Everybody already knew that he was the one that did it. So he had to come in and make a report. And as a 15+ year cop, at this point in my career, I'm a little bit cynical, I guess, or suspicious of people. So I think that when people do this and they flee the scene, it's because they were drunk, they were high, they had drugs, something like that. In fact, there was a witness on the scene of this accident that sat there and watched the guy take off and run on foot. He said a few minutes later, a white car came back. A guy got out, got into the car, rummaged around, got something, got back in the car and took off and left. Suspicious, right? Who knows? Doesn't really matter. In the end, I give him a citation for the traffic violation, leaving the lane, and also for leaving the scene of an accident, so we got a ticket. All right, then I got a call. We get these all the time of a 911 hang-up call. So from a cell phone, our dispatch is different everywhere. I know some dispatch centers have technology where they can triangulate the exact position of a 911 call or whatever. Ours can do it up to a certain range. I don't know if it's usually, it seems like it's usually like 20 to 90 meters. So we get dispatched to go out and just check the area to make sure there's nothing going on. 99 out of 100 times you don't find anything and you clear. Which was the case on this one. I went and drove around the block, up and down a few streets, didn't see anything, didn't see any emergencies, and cleared. Then I had another traffic accident. This one was, I was actually backing. It wasn't my call. I was an assisting officer on an auto versus bike. So car hit a bike type call. So we got out there on this one, and it was right by this big like convention center, and there were all these teenagers showing up for it looked like prom or something like that. Everybody was dressed up fancy. So what happened was this car, this Uber, it was an Uber driver, and he had a car full of teenagers pulled up to this event, and there's a bike lane running along the road. So he's in the lane of travel. He pulls over off the side of the road. Mrs. Fuzz. I should have a light showing that I'm recording. Anyway, my wife just walked in. It's okay, I'll continue the story. It's not like I'm interrupted or anything.
Rude.
Everybody say hi to Mrs. Fuzz.
Hello there.
I can get my mind back. Okay, so this Uber driver pulls off the side of the road, off his lane, through the bike lane, and he parks on the side of the road, curbside, right, to drop these kids off. The kid in the back seat opens the door right as a bike is coming next to him in the bike lane. He doesn't hit the door. They thought at first that he might have, but what happened is the door opened and it looks like he took evasive maneuvers and swerved, went falling off the bike, hit his head or his noggin or something, and got hurt. So it's a good question for you aspiring officers and those that are currently officers. Is that actually a traffic accident? Doesn't look like the bike ever made contact with the car. Swerved to miss the door, crashed on his bike. Do you do it on a traffic accident report or a regular report, or is it just a medical? Luckily, I didn't have to figure that out because I was just the backing officer, so I was just helping the officer doing it. I think he did it as a traffic accident, though. The funny part about this one, shout out to the firefighters out there. I'm walking over to the scene to help my partner, and I get over there, and I'm standing in front of the car, seeing if I can help him with anything, and a firefighter comes walking over, and he stands next to me kind of like this, like we are now, and he's like this, and he's just standing next to me. And I'm kind of looking over at him like, what's up? What's up, man? How you doing? And he's just quiet for a minute and he says, I think you just walked through a bunch of blood. Just so you know. Or no. He says, I think you just walked through that. And he uses his flashlight, spotlights the road with a big blob of congealed blood in the road.
Dude.
And I'm just sitting there. Well, I didn't want to look at first. I was like, really? Wow. That would be my luck. That would be great. He's like, yep, and walks off. Get my flashlight, look at my boot. Sure enough, blood all over the bottom of my boot.
Did you walk into our house after that?
I cleaned, well, I did, but I cleaned off my boot with grass. Yeah, I cleaned it off.
With grass?
Well, that's the first step of decontamination.
That's a biohazard.
Oh, it's a big
there
biohazard.
There could be like hepatitis.
Big time.
In my house.
But listen, here's the point. The firefighter could have easily prevented that. He knew it was there. He saw me coming. He wasn't doing anything else. He probably sat there and said, I'm going to watch this cop walk right through this. Let's see if he hits it. I guarantee you that's what he did. So big shout out to the firefighters there. You got a tough job. You can't help prevent a brother from walking through a blob of bio. And it was, you know what I'm talking about. It, without getting too graphic, it was that kind of blood. It was like head injury blood. Those of you that are paramedics, firefighters, police officers, military, you know what I'm talking about. It's congealed and...
There's a lot of it.
Ugh. So after that, I stood there and made sure other people didn't walk in it. I did the right thing, what a good human being would do. until it was all done and cars drove through the scene and it got all over their tires, and that cleaned it up.
Man, that's messed up.
Oh, yeah, okay, so last one for today. So just a few calls, guys. It's Thanksgiving. We got more important things to do. You got to get ready for Thanksgiving dinner and stuff. You don't have time to listen to me talk all day, so this will be the last one today. I also got dispatched as the backing officer on this one. This was a lewdness. This was a report of a male that had defecated in the corner of a parking lot by a restaurant, and the complainant was an employee at said restaurant. He was not happy about this. Specifically, come to find out later, because he's the employee that had been assigned to clean up the poop. We'll just call it poop. PG-13 channel, we'll call it poop. Somebody had been using it as a bathroom multiple times. Whether it was the same person or multiple transients, people were using the bathroom, this corner, for a bathroom. So he was having to clean it up. So he happened to look out and catch somebody in progress doing it this time. So he's mad, right? He calls 911. He follows the guy and he's taunting him and almost getting in a fight with the guy. It's not a good idea to do that. It's not a good idea. But he was upset. He wasn't going to clean up any more poop, and he was sure this was going to be the end of it. So we get there and we actually detain the guy. We stop and talk to him. So my partner talks to the complainant. He says, yeah, I saw him do it. It's over here still. So he follows him over there. He takes photographic evidence, I believe, of the, can we call it something besides poop? Can we have a code word? I'm tired of saying poop. The Kathleen Kennedy. My partner ended up citing the guy. He arrested him, released him on citation for public urination, which includes both, and for lewdness, because he exposed himself.
This is a really crappy call.
You proud of yourself? All right, thank you, Miss Fuzz. The guy he was not crazy. He was of average intelligence. We could communicate with him. He seemed like he was with it. He could not understand, and he could not comprehend why he was getting in trouble. He couldn't understand why he was being cited. He told us, it was an emergency. What am I supposed to do? It was an emergency. You know what? Not that it would even matter, but I asked the guy, do you have food poisoning? Are you sick right now? Is there anything going on with you medically? The answer was no. Everything was normal. So, I mean, not that that would even be an excuse, but
There are public bathrooms everywhere.
there is. I mean, you're in a metro area. You're in an urban environment. There are bathrooms everywhere. I tried explaining to him. I was like, dude, listen, we get that you're saying it's an emergency or whatever, but this isn't like you're up in Twin Falls, Idaho, or some, you know what I mean? You're in a metro urban environment on a Friday night. It was a Friday night, by the way, downtown. And this is like the restaurant district. There are people everywhere. At the very least, you got to understand that you're rolling the dice when you do it, that someone's going to see you, someone's going to report you. So you can't throw a fit like a Nancy sissy lip about getting a ticket when you decide to poo on the ground, pull your pants down in front of people.
I'm sorry, I thought this was America.
Happy Turkey Day.
Not everybody celebrates Thanksgiving, though.
Canada has Thanksgiving in October.
If you're in Canada, do you say you're thankful for a lot of tings?
You know what? Even if you don't celebrate Thanksgiving in your country or your corner of the world, we can all have a gratitude day.
Yes.
So,
Happy Gratitude Day.
there you go.
Nobody's watching the video anymore at this point. Everybody's left at this point.
Well, then cut it out.
Yeah, we should probably go ahead and stop. All right, thank you guys for watching. Thank you for being subscribed. Can't wait to see you guys till next time. Everybody have a great week. Bye-bye.
You the man right now. You the man right now with the whole wide world in the palm of your hand right now. The lights and the cameras and the money and the fame. I'ma do it for the fan right now.